This year has been largely centered around the coronavirus pandemic, racial justice, and the presidential election. But amid all the calamity, there is still one critical issue that we can't forget about that still needs our urgent attention, and that is saving Mother Earth. The Westchester Parks Foundation is a nonprofit organization in New York that works to conserve all 50 Westchester County parks. They hold several different volunteer events every week to get more helping hands on their conservation projects. One of the most critical projects is invasive plant removal. Daniel Atha is a botanist and the director of conservation outreach at the New York Botanical Garden. He has conducted field research across the U.S. and around the world, and recently he discovered 2 new plant species in North America.
The definition of an invasive species is a plant or organism that is not indigenous to the area that causes ecological and or human harm.
Invasive plants are dangerous because they grow unchecked. They aren't exposed to those predators in their natural habitat. The state of New York has a list of 75 invasive plants that are banned and regulated. This includes porcelainberry and oriental bittersweet, whose vines are often seen climbing up the trees alongside New York highways.
The bittersweet vine will twine up the trunk of the tree from the inside, and the porcelainberry will climb up the tree from the outside. So these trees will be broken down limb by limb until eventually you'll have just a bunch of broken trunks on the ground, grown over with this kind of a moonscape of these vines.
Some other invasive plants in New York are common reedgrass, Japanese barberry, and multiflora rose. The Westchester Parks Foundation and its volunteers remove invasive plants by cutting them down, digging out their roots, and disposing of them. Many have said it's hard work, but very rewarding.
It's pretty satisfying when you get one out.
It feels great. Not only is it physical stuff, but we're doing something to preserve the parks. The parks are a gift to us.
Erin Cordiner is the director of volunteer programs at the Westchester Parks Foundation.
Another part of the volunteer program is really engaging with the community, making them aware of these issues, such as invasive species like we're doing today. A lot of people have no idea what even an invasive species is, and so by coming out here and learning about it, then they go out and they engage with other community members and spread the word. And then also just getting people out here, especially right now with the pandemic going on. There's really not much else people can do.
With all of that's going on, it's hard to find a volunteer opportunity. So, this is good that it's outdoors.
My yoga studio is closed, and I like to stay active, so it's a great way to be physical and be outdoors.
As volunteers work to remove the invasive plants, the Westchester Parks Foundation has taken several measures to ensure people's safety. For example, they sanitize all tools, file all documents digitally, and require everyone to wear masks and social distance. Invasive plants are the result of human activity. Humans bring them from one habitat to another, either on purpose or by accident.
They did not blow on the wind from Eastern Asia or from Madagascar or from across the world. We brought them here. We transformed the balance of nature to such an extent that these organisms could invade and take over.
Erin, look at the size of this one. It's like nothing around.
Oh man, I want to kill that.
Invasive plants not only destroy the beauty of nature, but they also harm other beings.
If you have ever had the misfortune or the curiosity to look underneath all that dense canopy, you'll see that the ground is completely bare. The soil is dead, sterile. There's absolutely nothing growing underneath there. Part of that is because there's no moisture. This is such a dense layer of vegetation that the rain cannot even penetrate to the ground. So it's very, very dry. There's no sunlight, so there's no photosynthesis possible, and nothing can grow underneath this canopy.
Atha explains that the diversity of vegetation, animals, insects, fungi, and microorganisms normally work together to keep our water reservoirs clean. But if the land is bare or if it's replaced by a grass lawn, any waste left there by animals such as geese or by us humans will run off into the reservoirs, our drinking water. Invasive plants can affect crops and livestock as well, our food. They can also spread diseases and emit greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, contributing to climate change. Fortunately, there's many things we can do to help. The first step is education.
We need to recognize where we are causing the harm and very quickly restore our connection to Mother Earth. And I think we all need to recognize that all organisms on the planet have equal value.
The next step is to stop causing the harm. Sometimes invasive plants are introduced to the environment as ornamental plants in gardens and landscapes, but sometimes they're introduced accidentally. Either way, it's important to stop non-native plants from growing and stop them from spreading to other places.
When people are unaware, they leave a park and they don't think to check the bottom of their boots and there's seeds on there, and now they go to the next park and they're bringing it to that invasive plant that maybe didn't exist in that park, and now it's over there, right? It goes as far as dog paws, mountain bike tires. There's just so many things that they're not aware of. They don't know to check before they go to their new location.
Another way to help is by killing or removing the invasive plants, like the Westchester Parks Foundation does. But Atha says you should never use toxic chemicals like herbicides to do this.
Putting toxins into the air, water, and soil is not helping us, and it's not helping the planet to heal.
Atha stresses that environmental problems like invasive plants are our responsibility to fix, even throughout a pandemic.
It can't be the responsibility of a few. It has to be all of our responsibility to restore our ecological health and our connection to nature.
From Westchester County, New York, this is Tatiana Velasco.